So what can we expect from a Conservative Party under Poilievre's leadership? What should be at the top of his to-do list? Calgary Conservative MP Michelle Rempel Garner is here for more on Poilievre's landslide victory. Good to see you again. I know you didn't get a lot of sleep, nor did I, but here we are back at it again.
Did you?
Good to see you. So, one of the things that I was thinking about after last night was that you've known Mr. Poilievre for a long time. And so maybe I'll just start there in terms of what you think Canadians should know about him and what from your experience.
Well, I think he actually really cares about Canadians and public service. He's been in the role a long time. He's managed to win successive mandates in a riding that has changed a lot over the years and find messaging that has resonated with his constituents. He's also, above all else, he does have a national profile. He is a constituency MP. So I think that connection to his riding is something that I looked to when I first started as an MP as well as a model for what to do. And I think that that's really going to help him, particularly in contrasting against Justin Trudeau, who I think is seen now a little bit as out of touch, putting it mildly. I think that that's something that is going to help him resonate with Canadians as he gets his footing after, several years of instability in the party and now with a huge mandate going forward.
We were looking back at some of the things you said around when Erin O'Toole left, and we noted it because it's sort of a constant to what you're saying now. And at the time too, I think you were looking then as well for the party to find some stability, for the party to come together. That's sort of always been your MO, if I can. So I wonder if you think that the size of this victory, how broad it is, how vast it is across the country, whether that puts those issues of unity to rest, or whether you think there is still reach out that might need to happen here.
No, I thank you for bringing that up. I tried to write about that a couple of weeks ago on my Substack, that I do feel like this majority, huge, wave of a victory will provide that stability, for politicos who are sort of into the functioning of parties. We have something called the Reform Act, which allows leaders to be pushed out in the middle of their term. This is what happened to Erin O'Toole. That sort of threat hung over Andrew Scheer as well. And I think a lot of that had to do with the way that we select the leader in the party, which is through a preferential ballot system. And, both Mr. O'Toole and Mr. Scheer, they won after multiple rounds of balloting. Mr. Poilievre received a clear, decisive majority of votes, both in the popular vote as well as in the point system that the party uses across the country. And I think, and I'm certainly praying and desiring that the party has that stability. A company, a small business can't survive if its team isn't functioning, if there's infighting. And, that has been my MO. And, I'm ready to work. I'm ready to work behind a new leader. And I think what I felt in the room last night was a lot of colleagues that felt the same way. So we're focused on holding the government to account, and certainly on the economic issues that Mr. Poilievre focused on during the campaign.
You've also written about how a change of leadership is not enough to heal problems or solve problems after an election. So you have the change of leader, you have the sort of overwhelming victory. So what else has to happen there in your mind in order to get past what obviously has been a difficult couple of years for the Conservative Party?
I think what public service boils down to, good public servants. And, there's some congruency to this with a lot of the tributes that are being given to Her Majesty during the passing, is putting away self for the public good. And, I don't want to draw any congruency between what's happening in our party and that, but you have to, as a public servant, say, this isn't about me. And so what I think going forward is, the team will be able to say, look, this isn't about any individual. This isn't about seeking position. This is over. This war of succession is over. The country is arguably facing some of the most serious challenges that it has faced in several generations, everything from, longstanding issues on reconciliation, climate change, cost of living affordability, geopolitical instability. These are all things that require the official opposition to be professional, mature, and united. And I feel a sense of relief and hope this morning that crushing wave of a victory that brought in hundreds of thousands of people into our party will give Mr. Poilievre and the team the wind in the sails to have that stability and that foundation to go forward with professionalism in the best interest of Canadians.
Some of the things that Mr. Poilievre didn't talk about last night is also what's being noticed. You know, he didn't talk about firing the Bank of Canada. He didn't talk about conspiracy theories around the World Economic Forum. He didn't talk about Bitcoin. Are those things that you're comfortable having him talk about, or would you prefer not to hear him talk about those things again?
Well, I mean, Web3, right? I think that you and I might be sitting here or talking in 10 years' time and being like, wow, that really was an emergent ballot issue. This is an area of growing interest in the global economy, and Canada's government has a role to play in saying, how do we grow this industry, these good jobs that are non-resource based in a digital economy, while giving protections to consumers and investors? That is a question for government to address. And so, I think that that's fine. I think going forward, what you are going to see from our party and from Mr. Poilievre is a tone that looks like a government in waiting, that both holds the government to account, but also shows that our team has the horsepower and the front bench to form government and form a cabinet. Yeah. And I think that, we were sitting on the stage last night. That's what I was listening for in his speech. And I think he delivered that. I think you're going to have Dominic LeBlanc on the show later today. Yeah. And he's going to have a hard time picking out lines in that speech for the Liberals to pounce on, because they've got some splaining to do on the economy too. So I feel like a tectonic shift happened last night, and our caucus meets tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to stability, professionalism, and a united team working in the best interests of Canadians.
Okay, Michelle Rempel Garner, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Thank you for being with me last night and again this morning. I appreciate it very much. Have a good day.
Get some sleep this afternoon.
Okay, yes, I will. You too. Thank you.
Take care.